Welcome to the Kingdom Podcast, featuring Commissioner Christine King, where all voices are heard.
Welcome to the Kingdom Podcast. I am your host, Christine King, Chairwoman of the City of Miami and Commissioner for District 5. We are on location today at the beautiful Legion Park, and I am here with my friend and my guest, State Representative Ashley Gantt. How are you today?
I'm good today, and I can say that honestly. How are you?
I am perfect today, and I can say that. Perfectly imperfect, but today's a good day. I have no complaints. No
Good.
complaints. Thank you for joining me on my podcast.
Thank you for asking me. I'm glad I was able to actually be home.
I know your schedule is
Insane.
insane. Tell us what it's like to be a state representative.
Okay, so first of all, what people need to know is it's a part-time job.
That's bullshit. But go ahead.
Exactly.
That's because being a commissioner is a part-time job.
Yeah,
And
allegedly, right?
allegedly.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I have to say that because people think that that's all I do, and I am also a lawyer. So
We both are.
Right. And I'm like, I own my own firm, guys. Like, I actually have to work and go to court. Like, please stop. And so I usually have to say that to people when they're like, oh, we didn't see you at this meeting. Oh, I was in court or I was in a client meeting. So what is it like being a state representative? It's interesting. So we're supposed to be part-time and go back and forth to Tallahassee during committee weeks. So when it's an even year, we are in Tallahassee from January to March for session in 60 days.
Mm-hmm.
And we have committee weeks the fall before. So our committee weeks this year started in October. So I was there for the first 2 weeks of this month. I'll be there for the first and third week of November and then the first 2 weeks of December. And then I go back in January to March.
Wow.
Yeah. And so that's in addition to in the odd years, we're there from March to May.
Mm-hmm.
And we start committee weeks in January. So this year is an odd year. So I was there from January to June this year because not only did we start committee weeks in January and February, and then we started session in March, but we had 2 special sessions.
Right.
So the time off that we're supposed to have during committee weeks, because committee weeks is supposed to be 6 weeks, we actually were up in Tallahassee for special sessions. And then we extended session till June 16th. So I was there from January to June, and it was insanity. So I had 90 days. I've literally had 90 days to myself this year.
Wow. And I asked you this recently about court because I had to really scale my practice down to almost nothing because I would be scheduled for hearings. I can't. It's commission meeting. There's some that I could schedule, but when the judge orders you have this and I have to show up, they don't care that I'm an elected official. I have a job to do. But you said they make special allowances.
Yes. So for legislators, we actually have a statute,
Mm-hmm.
and the statute tolls our cases. So the judges, and it's not permissive. So the judges have no discretion. And you have some judges that try to fight it, which is nuts. But we do not have to be in court, or they can't set a hearing when we're in committee weeks and when we're in session. And this has been the practice since the adoption of the Constitution in 1968. So we've had some judges that have had issues with reading the statute and understanding what it means. And then they'll get a nice little memo from the judiciary communications and like, hey, this is what the statute says. Please stop giving legislators a hard time.
Yeah. I'm not afforded that same courtesy.
Yeah.
I'm not afforded that same courtesy, I guess, because we're local, we're here. It's a part-time job, all of that.
Allegedly.
What do you love most about being a state rep?
I would say when I interact with the kids. So they are like, you're what? And then I tell them what it is, and I tell them I make laws, and then they start talking to me about, asking me all these questions. And then they asked me about like my family. So they automatically assumed that I like came from a family of lawyers and legislators. I'm like, I'm the first in my family to do all of this. And they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, I'm the first. I'm the first lawyer. I'm the first elected. Of course, my cousin made it possible for me, Cedric McMahon, because
Right.
he's so involved. He's been involved. He ran for this office before. And so I was fortunate enough to see his amazing example. But I'm like, I'm the first. And so my nieces and my nephews and my god kids and everything, they're like, oh, what is this and this and this and this. And so the kids in my family and then the kids I interact with all across the state of Florida, honestly, I think that's the best part.
It is. I have a similar story. I was a very non-traditional student. I was never on the honor roll. That's just not my testimony. But when you look at us, you think, oh, we were of privilege. No, we weren't.
Yeah.
You know, oh, you must have been a straight A student. Never my testimony. I never even wanted to be a straight A student, to be honest. And it wasn't until when I went to law school, I believe, that I really started caring about my grades. I was always bright. That was not a question, but I didn't always apply myself the way you would think someone that's an elected official or in our position. You know, we loved school. We were straight A students. Not my testimony. And I love to share that with kids to inspire them to say, everyone's journey is different.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's journey is different, but you wind up where you're supposed to be.
Right.
With the right teachers, the right mentors, you know, whatever that is, whatever that looks like for you. And that's why I don't mind sharing my story about being a non-traditional student. Like, I went to Miami-Dade Community College.
Shout out to MTC.
Shout out to MDC. I'm now an alum, but I did a 2-year program for 9 years.
You took your time. You finished.
I finished. So, you know, and I hope that gives folks inspiration, because not everyone is meant to take that, get out of high school, finish undergrad in 4 years, do a master's, go get a doctorate degree. Yeah, that wasn't me.
Yeah. I took a break. So I went to school. I went to UF. And then I got into Teach for America. And I taught in Mississippi for 2 years. Mm-hmm. And then I came home and I kept teaching. Mm-hmm. So I taught for how many years did I teach for, Lord? 7 years total. And my 7th year was my first year of law school. So I did a part-time program at Nova.
Me too.
I was nuts. Teaching full-time and going to school at night. My schedule from Monday to Thursday, I would get up at 6 a.m. because I lived in Broward, because I was like, well, it'll make more sense for me to be closer to Nova. 6 a.m., drove down the traffic, got to school, taught until like I taught at Alapata Middle School, actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I went to Alapata Elementary School.
I actually went to Miami Shores Elementary. So I'm at Alapata. First of all, middle school is nuts. Okay, nuts. I left Carroll City High, where I graduated from, to go to Alapata Middle, and I was like, no, I love the high school students. I cannot do middle school. So I would get out of school. I would drive rush hour traffic to Nova. I would get there. Classes started at 6, so from 6 to like 9:30, we were in class, and then I would go to the library about like 10:15 and study until 2 a.m.
Oh, no.
And
again, not my testimony.
I had to get it done. I was like, I gotta get this done. And then Fridays were obviously our days off, so I would like, go home and knock out and then be at the library on the weekend. But I did the part-time program for a year and then went full-time the next summer. But it was very much, it prepared me for now.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It literally prepared me for the double duties that I'm doing.
I can't believe the similarities. I went to Nova's part-time evening program. Mm-hmm. The first year, I didn't work. I was taking care of my baby.
Mm-hmm.
And the second year, I worked full-time and took full-time classes. I finished the part-time program in 3.5 years because I went every summer, and I had a director who believed in me. Shout out to Miss Ophelia Brown Lawson. And she allowed me to adjust my schedule. So I would take classes in the day, like 2 in the afternoon, and then the evening classes. So I was able to finish. But I worked when I was home the first year at an Avon business. So I did Avon, and then I went back to work. I was doing Avon, back to work, law school. Yeah.
That was a lot.
It was a lot. It was a lot. And I didn't take one break. I went straight through.
I think if I could do it again, I would take a break. I would. I was like, because right after I passed the bar, or I took the bar, I started working at the PD's office. And then I got my bar results, and then I was like in it. And so I haven't, really had a break.
Right.
And then when I opened my firm in 2021, before my firm turned 1, I was running for office. And I was like, am I nuts? And here we are. And then this June, so I'm very excited about this. This June, I launched a partnership with Rep. Michelle Rayner out of the St. Pete, Tampa area, and now Senator LaVon Bracey Davis out of Orlando. So now we have our partnership is called the Law Offices of Bracey Davis, Gantt, and Rayner, BDGR Law. And what we did not know, so Michelle was a solo and I was a solo. And so we all got together and was like, let's just do this thing, right? And this is the first firm of its kind.
Really?
Yeah. Of sitting legislators joining, making a partnership. And we didn't know. And we had an article done, and the publication that did it, did research for across the nation. And it's the first.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations on that. Yeah, congratulations on that.
So it's going. I'm transitioning from solo to that. I'm very excited about it. I do better with working with groups. I would say that, because solo practice, you have to be 100% in it.
Right. Absolutely. You eat what you kill.
Yeah.
If you kill nothing, you starve.
And that's what I have to tell people.
And that's I when I got out of law school, passed the bar, I hung a shingle. And
You brave.
I hung a shingle, and I had to kill whatever walked through the door. They would ask me, what kind of law do you practice? And I said, door law. Whatever came through that door,
That's what I'm doing.
that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. It eventually became more of a focus on family law, but landlord tenant, I don't care what side I was evicting, and I was trying to keep you in. I did some of everything, but I loved practicing law. I really did. I loved law school. I loved practicing law. And even with the practice of law, it was service, because people come to you at some of the lowest points in their life, and you're a counselor,
a
you're a therapist, you
big sister,
an advocate, everything.
I agree. And I think what's interesting about practicing law and being a lawyer and also being an elected is I had to, and I'm doing better this year at this, create boundaries for myself and to have rest.
Right.
Because what people don't realize is that in both capacities, people come to you with their problems, and we're problem solvers. So they're coming to you to solve a problem, but it takes a toll on you when, I have deadlines in my head. Okay. The very first day I had off the legislative stay, I had a trial set. The judge was like, oh, you'll be back. I'm like, Judge, I've been up here for 6 months. Imagine being in session, being in trial every day.
Right.
And it is adrenaline, full brain capacity every day. And so I had 3 trials set in July. 2 of them went. And they went back to back. One was civil and one was criminal. 2 different practice areas.
Right.
And 2 very different experiences in trial. One was a bench, one was a jury trial. I was successful in both, thank God, but like I didn't have a break.
Right.
And so I'm doing a lot better at that and saying no, and
I have
sleeping.
I have a hard time saying no. My staff is like, you have to say no more often because I take service so personally. It's hard for me to say no. And I have had to try to find out because there is no day off
No.
with service.
Yeah.
That's 7 days a week. I give my cell phone number out so people are calling and texting me. I don't have 2 phones, and I'm available. I'm here. And I had to figure out like one day is I carved out one day during the week for myself and or my practice and or personal doctor's appointments, going to the grocery store, all of that. And when you are taking in everyone's problems, I don't think they consider that we have our own, like our parents, our children, relationships, and people get sick in your family and this and that. And,
Right.
because they need you to show up for them.
Right.
And nobody wants to hear anybody else's problems, right? And so I had to learn how to decompress, like how to say no.
My body forced me to do it. Last October, I was so exhausted. Like I literally could not get up for a week. Like I was exhausted. And I was like, oh, okay. So if you don't make time, your body is going to force you to make time.
Exactly.
And thankfully I didn't have any appointments or court hearings or anything like that. But that was a wake up call for me, because if you pour from an empty cup, what are you going to give yourself?
Right.
And I also I am very dedicated to service. So if I don't give myself the time to rest, or even just spending time with family, I'm about to go pick up my mom and take her somewhere. If you don't give yourself that time, you're going to be forced to take it, and it's not going to be in a positive way.
Right.
So I told myself when I came back from Tallahassee, and the day before my mom's birthday, June 26th, I got back. When I came back, I said, I want to take these 90 days and go hard at work. And that's what I fixed in my brain. The last weekend, so for the last weekend of September, my body was like, we made it. And I was knocked out. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I was in the bed. And I did that on purpose, but last October, it wasn't on purpose.
Yeah.
So it's definitely been a wake up call. I've been back in the gym.
Now I'm consistent with that. I run, and if I don't run,
You feel off.
I'm off. If I don't, and it has to be outside. I don't like going to the gym. I have to be outside. And if I don't do that, then it shows my patience is short. Everything messes up if I'm not able to go running and just free my mind. I get that runner's high.
Do you run in the morning?
I run whatever time. In the morning, in the evening, whenever I can do it, because sometimes you have early morning meetings, but when I can do it. And I ran a marathon this year, the half marathon, and I'm looking forward to running another marathon next year, and it's just a constant.
I was supposed to do the half marathon in February.
Yes.
I missed it. I got a sinus infection. So going back and forth to Tallahassee, the pollen, I got really sick in January and February, and I got a sinus infection. I was like, oh man.
Oh.
And I couldn't do it. But I'm doing it next week.
It was
next year.
It was brutal. One, I got the flu in January. My longest run was 7 miles. The day before I got sick, I ran Sunday, 7 miles. It felt like I was just running on cloud. It was the best run. Monday, my Oura ring says, you have minor signs of illness. I said, this, and I had just gotten the ring. I was like, this ring is off. It doesn't know. I just ran best time. Monday night,
It was gone.
Tuesday morning, I woke up, And I had no more runs after that. And I have asthma. I was struggling. Like the rest of January, I'm trying to recover from this flu. First Sunday in February, I run. I finished, but I was miserable. And it was hot.
I didn't do it. I couldn't. Like, walking caused, like, pain in my sinus. I was like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah,
I'll do it.
I should not have done it, but I did it. That's the competitor in me. I'm like, of course I'm going to do it. But it was tough. It was tough.
Good job.
It was tough.
Absolutely not.
What can we expect this year from Tallahassee? What are we looking at in terms of, are we going to address insurance?
Okay, so
The rising cost of insurance?
I will say that we can expect more chaos. We can expect more of the Republicans in leadership doing whatever they want because they can. I am hoping that it's a lot more balanced because people are hurting. People need big companies to not be the priority, which is what's been happening.
But I think insurance is bipartisan.
It is.
Everyone has
Here's the
an
thing.
escrow shortage.
Here's the thing. We've been saying that. I got elected in 2022. The very first session that I did was the insurance special session after they had already had this special session during the election. And it passed by party lines as well. And we continue to see the data, the feedback from constituents, the Democratic and Republican alike, and the needle is not moving. So I don't know if something is going to change this year because all across the board, things have just become worse. But I hope so. There is no appetite and has been no appetite to even address insurance.
Yeah.
Even though there have been bills filed. So there have been bills filed by Dems to address property insurance every single term. We don't have the power to put our bills on the agenda, but there are bills being filed that will provide relief and provide solutions. So it's not that it's not, there's nothing happening. There is. The leadership is not taking it up. So that's the reality of it. And unfortunately, the property insurance crisis isn't partisan. It is across the board.
It is.
But not finding a solution is very partisan.
That's unfortunate.
It is.
That's unfortunate.
So we shall see. Because all of that money that was given to the immigration officer, which we know as attorneys, immigration is purely a federal issue and it's in the federal purview.
Absolutely.
All of that money could have been given as a subsidy to property owners here in Florida. It's millions on millions on millions of dollars. So it's not like we don't have it in the budget. We do. It's just not expedient for political points and talking points. So unfortunately,
once everyone starts speaking out on both party lines, I think then perhaps we'll be heard.
I would love a Republican to say something. I would love it.
It can happen.
Well, I hope so.
It can happen.
I'm the eternal optimist.
Me too. Me too. It can happen. Well, I'm coming to the segment in my podcast where I ask you a few questions just off the cuff. Are you reading anything good? Or what's your favorite book? Do you have a favorite book? Are you reading anything good?
I am. So, I would say my favorite authors, Toni Morrison and Octavia Butler. I'm a big sci-fi nerd.
Did you read Kindred?
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, I loved that book. I fell in love with Rufus.
I love every single thing by Octavia Butler.
I fell in love with Rufus.
Every character she writes. I started rereading Fledgling. It's like a vampire book by her. That was the first book I introduced to her in college, actually. So what am I reading now? So I just purchased Cumby by Dr. Fields Black. So Dr. Dorothy Fields' daughter.
Yes. She's going to be at the book fair.
I know. I'm excited. I got the book. I'm like, I got it so that when I see her, I have a Pulitzer Prize.
Oh, I'm gonna have to get her to
There.
sign my book.
Yes, I have it.
Yes.
So I'm gonna start reading that, and I actually read sci-fi books and romance novels to like get out of like the problem solving and the politics. That
You should read A Curse Carved in Bone.
Oh, who is that by?
I don't remember the name of the author. It's A Curse. No, the first book is A Fate Inked in Blood.
Okay.
And the follow-up to that is A Curse Carved in Bone.
I'm gonna look it up.
Amazing.
I'm gonna look it up.
And I just last night finished reading King of Ashes.
I've never heard of that one.
You
It's a sci-fi one?
No, but it is
good.
It is so good.
Okay.
S.A. Cosby is the author. It's so good. I loved it. Do you have a favorite song, a theme song? What's playing on your playlist?
I'm gonna be very cliche and say Beyonce as always. And I've been playing Black is King, and I've been playing Cowboy Carter. My favorite song, I don't know if I have a favorite song. I've been also listening to Olivia. I don't know the girl name. Her songs are popular on TikTok right now.
I don't have TikTok.
Oh, well, she is she's a British artist. I've been listening to her album as well. She reminds me of Corinne Bailey Rae.
I love Corinne Bailey Rae. I love her.
So if you love her, like her voice is in that similar like genre of British singers.
Okay.
And Elmian and Leon Thomas. So it's like a little mix of like men and women R&B singers. I love R&B, so I usually listen to some R&B.
Okay. If you could have dinner with anybody, who would you choose to have dinner with?
Harriet Tubman.
I cannot with you, really.
Absolutely. That woman first of all, she is the most iconic figure when you think about like just the spirit of America. She was brilliant, she was resilient, and she was unapologetic. And she was all of that and a woman and a Black woman. And she got full military honors when she was buried. Like she was a baddie.
Yeah.
And so, you know, having dinner with her, like right now, when I talk to other, millennial electeds, I'm like, we're facing mean words. This woman had a bounty on her neck.
Right.
She was literally facing death.
Right.
And so when I think of it in those terms, like my ancestors were currency in this country. When I think about these iconic figures like Harriet Tubman, they were facing literal death. And people on, social media with their Twitter thumbs, because when I see them in person and if they say something crazy, I definitely, ask them about that.
They don't.
They don't.
But the thing is, with me, that's not fair because I'm not on social media, so you know that.
Oh, it was one person that said something very egregious. Usually I'm like, I don't care. These people don't know me. That person said something egregious and I said, don't ever try me like that again. That was disrespectful. And it's also grounds for legal action. I will sue you. Don't play with me.
I'll probably miss if we have that. I don't see it.
It was so pervasive. Like people were screenshotting and sending stuff to you.
So that's how I would see it. If someone sent it to me, that's how I would see it, because my social media platform is about service. It's about what I do for the community, and that's it. You're not going to see a selfie of me. You're not going to see me on vacation. None of that stuff. So I don't really see that. It's really about letting the community know what's happening, what we're doing in terms of, and I don't think I'll get into a fight with somebody else, because
I don't go back and forth, but that man was he made an insinuation like about me taking pictures with little girls. And I said, excuse me? I didn't comment on it on social media. I have the records. And I said, don't you ever do that again. Because it is about representation. And, my campaign and stuff, my hair is natural. It's curly. I'm still natural. It's just straight right now, but it's curly. And so a lot of times they're like, oh, you got hair like me. Yeah, I do, and so that is the only time I've had to, correct him. And he could talk crap about me. I don't care. But that right there, that's beyond the pale for me.
Do we know him?
You probably.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There are those. If you could travel anywhere, where would you like to visit if you could go anywhere?
I definitely want to go to Ghana.
Mm-hmm.
And I've gone a good amount of places, not enough in these last few years, but I definitely want to go to Ghana. I'm definitely going to go to Ghana. South Africa, I want to go to Sierra Leone. So I want to go to a lot of countries on the continent of Africa. And I also want to go to Thailand. I want to go to Bali.
Okay.
Yeah. And I haven't been to Greece yet. So Greece, I'm a little iffy on Italy, but Greece and Italy
I love
as
Italy.
well.
I love Italy.
Yeah.
Gone a couple of times. I love being in Italy.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for being a guest on the Kingdom Podcast.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
We will continue to uplift you because girl power, we rock.
Yes,
we rock. We are doing things and changing people's lives. And I love sharing this platform with you. I love that we can empower each other and lift each other up. Thank you for honoring me at the Gwen Cherry.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I was so, and I really don't do a lot of that stuff, but I was like, this is so special because she was a pioneer.
Yeah.
So I was honored to get that award. So
and we
thank
both
you.
serve the community that she served.
Yeah.
And just for context, for people to know, I'm the president of the Gwen Cherry Black Women Lawyers Association, and this is our 40th year. And so it was actually controversial for me to have like 40 women and not all of them be just simply lawyers. So I had different, different categories of lawyer, because I'm like, Gwen Cherry wasn't just about lawyering, she was about the community.
Right.
And so it was, and we only do a gala every 10 years.
Really?
Yeah. So we usually just do installation brunches or lunches. Like, it's very, simple. And so I had to make sure that we knew that her legacy was about more than just being a lawyer. Right. Her legacy was about the community. And, the fact that I'm 40, I turned 40 this year. I'm president. I'm the state rep in her seat.
Right.
Like, it was just all like these synchronicities that happened for me to, I was just like, who gonna say something to me? If you got a problem, who gonna say something?
Exactly.
Okay. And so people were upset. I did, they were in their feelings. I didn't have any judges on there. And so I had some questions about them. Like, do you see any judge on there? No. Because we're going to do something different for judges, because the very first bill that Gwen Cherry voted on was to make judicial races nonpartisan. And so we have something coming up for judges, but it's just like, y'all relax. Everybody don't need to be on everything,
Right.
But it was such an honor, and it was beautiful. It was a great event. The energy was amazing.
It was a beautiful event.
I appreciate it. It was a labor of love. I'm never doing that again. Ever.
Well, this is another Kingdom Podcast in the can. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for doing what you do for our community. Thank you for doing it with me. And I love you. It's a wrap. See you again on the next episode of the Kingdom Podcast.